Hi everyone. I'm so glad to be joined once again by my friend Mia, the founder and director of Good Neighbor Gardens, and we're in another beautiful residential garden that Mia and the community, the homeowner here, have cultivated, as well as your team. And one of the things that's so cool about Good Neighbor Gardens is I'm really inspired by what you're doing to encourage everyone that they can be a gardener, that no matter the space or size of their home, that they can grow food for themselves and have enough bounty to share with their community as well. So
Yeah.
I'd love to hear a little bit more about that aspect of Good Neighbor Gardens as well.
Well, you know, the whole idea, again, is to get in where you fit in. So some people actually don't have a lot of time or necessarily the inclination to grow food when they come to us. But we bring people in who are studying how to grow food and they've advanced in their abilities. And so we're giving them opportunities to shine. So people from Seeds at City College, down at Wild Willow, we bring those folks in to act as farmhands for the homeowners. And they leave a report every time they come and do a maintenance visit, and that gives the homeowner an opportunity to learn, even if they don't have time to venture into the garden. And before you know it, they feel like they're empowered enough to accept the invitation to come into their own garden space, which a lot of times they feel that, oh, I don't know what I'm doing there, so I'm a little reluctant to go there. But the more bounty they see that's manifesting, the more questions it raises, and the more interest. And so it's a work in progress, and it's that process that's beautiful, because there's so many little miracles and things that happen along that process for each individual involved and for the community, because this little garden right here, believe it or not, can manifest quite a bit of food to feed a lot of people. We distribute food every other week, and I'd say this garden contributes at least several handfuls of herbs and arugula, cauliflower leaves, which are edible, just as edible as the cauliflower itself. So it's a real productive garden, and pretty soon we'll have fava beans, as you can see.
They're
And
beautiful. I love the flowers as
yeah.
well. It's so cool.
Yeah, the flowers are beautiful. And there's always more than they can eat, so it's nice to have the satisfaction of sharing, you know.
Yeah, and it's so cool too. You can see we're sitting right next to two citrus trees as well. So we truly are surrounded by the bounty, which is so important.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Vivacious Dish is also passionate about is making it easy for people to feel like they can take the bounty that they've grown or that is from their community, their local neighborhood, and turn it into something delicious and nourishing in easy ways, which is one of the pleasures of doing these recipe series, and then getting to partner with collaborators like Mia that are making it easy for people like me and like all of you to access really awesome quality local food.
Yeah, because quite frankly, when we deliver this beautiful harvest box to our subscribers who may or may not have a garden, but of course those that have a garden also get a box, because we want to make sure that they have a full diet of locally grown, organic, nutrient-dense food, even if it doesn't amount to that coming out of their yard successfully. But if they don't get that recipe from Vivacious Dish, then they might not really have the experience that we're hoping that they would have from it. And what we're finding is people are creating new habits because they're able to work with what they're given, and their palate is expanding because they have more opportunity to learn how to work with it. So thank you.
Well,
Really
thank you.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
this is really fun. And the other thing too is that learning how to work with new foods. So you mentioned, cauliflower leaves, broccoli leaves, eating seasonally as well. There's so much bounty that surrounds us. San Diego has an amazing year-round growing season.
Yeah.
But we might be exposed to different types of food, or we might, be eating different things in the winter as a result of that. So it's also really fun to get to explore and experience different flavors throughout the year.
Yeah, just as much as certain foods will not grow well with certain weather conditions, our bodies don't perform as well if we're not eating the foods that are growing in the same season that we're living in. So, when you go to the grocery store, you'll see a cauliflower, but you won't see the leaves because it's just not as, maybe it's not considered to be as aesthetically pleasing, and so it might not sell. It's not as marketable, but it tastes just like it. It is absolutely delicious in soups, roasted in the oven. Use it in chips like we've demonstrated. So it's a way for us to have more food in our diets, and the little bit of space can produce so much food in a backyard.
Well, and think about too, all of the cauliflower, there's a little cauliflower tucked away in there. It's just growing, but all of the cauliflower bulbs that are sold at the stores, and think about all the waste.
Yeah.
If this is the amount of leaves on each
Yes,
plant and
yes.
not using those, it's like, oh my goodness.
The truth really is that in our own yards, in our own spaces, we have enough room to grow enough food for all of us to eat healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, when we have a distribution day and the farmhands bring the bounty to our distribution center for assembly into the boxes, we always end up with extra, so we can donate it to the underserved. So the homeowner gets first dibs, then it goes to our subscription base, and then we still have some to share.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, thank you. And with that, we're going to go be creative with some of the beautiful ingredients in this garden.
All right.
So. After our tour of this beautiful Good Neighbor garden, we've harvested some herbs, and I'm going to show you how to make a lemon tahini herb dressing to go on top of some roasted carrots. So I'll start with the carrots. We have multicolored carrots, purple carrots, as well as orange carrots. And I'm going to cut them just above the top so we still get a little bit of the stems. The purple carrots you can see are small, so I'm going to cut the orange carrots in half to be about the same size as our purple carrots. Get those set up. And what's fun about using multicolors is that you get to feature the beauty of the earth in the process, as well as slightly different flavors. The purple carrots are a bit sweeter in flavor than the orange carrot, so it adds for a nice visual effect as well as taste. So once we have a nice assortment of carrots trimmed and cut, you're going to put them in cast iron. I love roasting with cast iron as well as cooking things on the stove. It works great, and it's full of good iron nutrients as well. So get those situated in there like so. I like to drizzle a little maple syrup on these for sweetness. It adds a bit of a caramelization as well when we put them in the oven. So I have our maple syrup there, and then a little bit of ghee as well. And the ghee is beautiful. This is a spiced ghee, so it has some flavors in it also. You can just spread that on your carrots, like so. Ghee is amazing for cooking with. It is clarified butter effectively, so you remove the protein from it but keep all the fats, and it's very stable at high heat, so fantastic for roasting things because it doesn't break down, so it's going to keep all of its healthy fats intact as you cook with it. Once you have your carrots ready to go in your cast iron, you're going to pop this in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes until they're soft and starting to caramelize around the edges. And in the meantime, we'll make our dressing. So with our carrots roasting away in the oven, I'm going to show you how to make a very simple and delicious dressing. Its base is tahini. We're going to start with a little bit of olive oil. I love using organic olive oil. Try to get something that's full flavored and well bodied wherever you can find it. I also use a little bit of apple cider vinegar. This is a great food. I use it in many of my dressings, so add some of that in there. I'm going to use a Meyer lemon. Meyer lemons are more sweet than standard lemons, and we can pick them on our trees right here in San Diego in the winter season. They're also really juicy, so this is going to add some brightness and warmth to our dressing. Lots of good juice in there, using our favorite lemon squeezer. And then lastly, we're going to add our tahini. Tahini is made from sesame seeds. This is a raw tahini, so they're unroasted. You don't want to heat this up once you've made it, but it makes it really nice and creamy, similar in texture to a Caesar style dressing. You can use this dressing on a number of different salads, both cooked and cold, so it's wonderful on these roasted carrots, also great on romaine or other leafy greens. And I'm just going to whisk this up. It'll start to emulsify as we go. We may need to add a little bit more tahini. You can add tahini as much as you like to get the consistency that you desire, whether you want it a bit more thin or more creamy. So once you have your dressing the consistency that you like, this is exactly the level of creaminess that I'm desiring for this, you're good to go. You can also add things. So today I'm going to add some fresh parsley and sage that we picked on our garden walk. It's really beautiful. This is purple sage. And you can just chiffonade it, which means to roll it and then slice into thin strips. You can see that this is light and delicate. It's a delicate dressing, so it's nice to have herbs that complement that. So we'll toss those in there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of this fresh parsley in as well. We're going to save some of the fresh parsley leaves to garnish the actual dish itself. But we'll add some of these into the dressing also. I love working with fresh herbs. They add so much flavor to our dishes, and they're just beautiful. If you sprinkle just a few fresh herbs around the plate, it really adds an amazing effect. So we'll put some of our fresh parsley in there also, and then just whisk it up to make our herb dressing. Once you have your dressing, you're set to go with this dish. So now let's grab our carrots. So now that we have our beautiful roasted carrots fresh out of the oven, I'm going to plate these for you. So let me grab that. And with our plating, I like laying them out all in the same direction to kind of make a nice runner. They're most pretty, I think, face up, but you can do whatever inspires you. That's the fun of plating, is getting to really feature the beautiful dish that you've created. So get all of our little carrots lined up with their multicolors there, looking happy. The nice thing about this dish too is it's really simple to make, as you can see, so it's perfect for a quick weeknight meal. Something that's really beautiful, delicious, and easy to make. Those are some of my favorite things that just feature the beauty of our natural environment and local harvest. So then once we do that, you can just take your herb tahini dressing and drizzle it across the middle. I like to do it in a bit of a line so you can kind of still see the carrots and get the tahini color aspect in it as well. Sprinkle it with a little bit of sea salt. We can add a little bit of pumpkin seeds just for color and a nice little crunch in the mix. You can play with this, whatever inspires you visually is great. Let's add a few sprigs of fresh lavender just because they're beautiful, and then we'll finish the dish with a little bit of fresh herbs. You can serve this as a side dish at parties, something gorgeous, colorful, and very tasty to feature our lovely harvest from Good Neighbor Gardens.